Folks, we need to have a talk, and a serious one, because what I got for you in this video is an eye-opener. Today, we have an appointment for our 2013 Lexus LX 570. Beautiful car, 139,000 miles. I mean, you look at it parked, it's like, wow, this is a nice car. Comes in with an engine knocking, flat knocking, rod knock, and put a borescope through his cylinders. I mean, the cylinders are just destroyed. What happened here? Pull the oil looks clean. Send a camera inside the engine's clean, like not sludged up, not everybody. Look at the service history. This car's been very well maintained. What happened here? Why did it just, the 3UR just called it quits like that? Well, I sat down with the customer. I'm like, walk me through this. Because once I got the car in, and I'm looking at it, this car has new timing chain, new timing gears, new cam towers, new front timing cover, and it's leaking oil everywhere, and it's leaking coolant everywhere, and it looks like every single wire, no wire is attached where it should be. I mean, somebody's really went to town here. What happened here? Like all this work, somebody maybe had a cam tower that was leaking, and they went in and destroyed this motor. I go sit down with the customer. Hey, Mr. Customer, and he happens to be, from a neighboring country, from back home. I was like, hey, just walk me through this. What's going on here? He says, I've owned this car for a few years, and beautiful car, paid top dollar for it, because it's a nice car. It actually doesn't have any rust. Everything was great. We maintained the car, whatnot. He says, I usually do my oil changes at a Toyota dealership. Not a problem. He's like, it's right just down the street from my house. Takes it to the Toyota dealership, does the oil change, comes in at the end of the day to pick it up. They're about to close, picks up the car, gets in it, starts it, makes a weird noise when he starts it. Didn't think much of it, thought, most folks just start their car, it's like, huh, is that for my car? Bah, it's good now, let's go. As soon as he drives, he noticed that the oil pressure was like all the way down, almost to zero. As soon as he stops, it goes to zero and it starts making the same noise. Huh. Well, at that point, he turns around, tries to go back, dealership's closed. Next day, he decides, you know what, this may be not related. Maybe this is a new problem. Let's take it to a Lexus dealership. Starts it in the morning, and the thing is like racketing its heart out. Takes it to a Lexus dealership for a diagnosis. Lexus dealership actually did their diagnosis correctly. And I admire them for that. Good job. They got the car in, they did their checks, they pulled the oil filter. The oil filter was missing the standpipe, and the oil filter itself, like the element, was twisted and basically blocking all flow completely. Well, that's just wonderful. Who did the last oil change? Toyota dealership, which happens to be a close-by Toyota dealership to them. They're like, what happened here? Where's the standpipe? I'll tell you about the standpipe in a little bit. They basically botched the oil change. The Lexus dealership told him, you need a new engine because this thing already has rod knock, is done. Takes it back to the Toyota dealership. Hey, you guys just did an oil change. You messed up my filter, and now I need an engine. Like, what are we going to do here? You know what the Toyota dealership told him? Well, sir, you brought us a Lexus. We don't have any warranty on Lexus because we're a Toyota dealership. So, sorry about that. Here's a refund for the oil change. Have a nice day. So the customer basically is frantically freaking out. What do I do now? My car is knocking, oil pressure goes to zero, and nobody wants to take responsibility. I mean, what's going on? Now, this is the part where I wish they would have taken legal action, folks, because Lexus or not, you are a repair facility. He could have taken legal action. But unfortunately, what happens next is when things went significantly south. Takes the car to a import specialist, and this is when things went really south. The import specialist determined that, this is just, I Googled it, and it's just a timing chain noise. No, it's not. Let's just say that. They proceed to take the engine apart, replace the timing chain. Then they decided halfway there, well, that's a small parts cannon and we need a big parts cannon to justify this. They replaced the cam towers, they replaced the camshafts, they replaced the timing gears, they replaced so many other things. They replaced the front timing cover for some reason. All aftermarket parts. Well, of course they are. And they replaced the water pump. They went to town. The bill was almost $7,000. All right, Mr. Customer, all done, car fixed. Yes, this is terrible, but it could have been worse. Picks up the car, low oil pressure, knocking noise, same 9 yards. You know what the best part is? They never actually replaced the oil filter that has no standpipe. Didn't even bother doing that. He went back, oh no, well now you need an engine, we can get you a used engine. It's $11,000. Customer brought us the car. Do you know how much a 3UR today? We'll talk about the used one in a moment here. Do you know how much a remanufacturer, so there's a company called Jarco that is a Toyota approved vendor that they rebuild engines based using all original parts. We've used their engines, they're actually pretty good. You buy them through a dealership, and that's the best part. If you want a 3UR FE remanufactured by Jarco through Toyota with original parts installed in your LX 570 or 200 series Land Cruiser, it is $20,000. If you add anything to it, it goes more. If you want a brand new top to bottom engine from Toyota, short block, new heads, new everything, top to bottom, all the long block, it is $36,000. By the way, if you have an LS 460, they actually sell a long block for that. That is a very chilling $42,000. All because of a filter. And of course, this customer, when I told him the prices, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't do used engines. If you want to take it somewhere else with it, he's like, no, I'm done with this car. Like, this is over. I'm going to have to take a giant loss, pay off my loan, and just, I don't know what we're going to buy. Probably an economy car and just get a little bit past this financial blow. All because of a filter. This exact filter, and usually I don't like to shame brands and companies, but I am gonna, because the truth have to be said, because I've seen this now multiple times. We just had a Tundra knocking, thankfully that one didn't destroy the engine, knocking at idle. The customer actually thought it was a timing chain tensioner. No, it's not. It's zero oil pressure at idle. Dorman. Let's have the Dorman talk. Dorman is a company that's been around for a long time, and they do everything. I mean, they make so many things for every single car. It's amazing how they're able to do all that and keep up. Sometimes they'll come to the rescue because some parts no longer available, nobody else makes them, they'll definitely make it. Kind of like Felpro for gaskets. Are they the highest quality? Not even close. But you know what? If you have no other choice, it's a choice. Here's the problem. This is the #1 used kit in aftermarket shops and dealerships, apparently, and DIYers. That's the biggest disaster. Here's the problem. The original filter housing on the 3UR FE is a plastic one. So just for you to get an idea, this is what we're referring to. This is a cap that screws onto the engine. The filter element sits right here. Very simple. Do you see how this one is, it's not metal, it's aluminum. Well, the original one is plastic. And folks really have a problem with that. No, it always breaks, it always just, do you know why it breaks? Because when you over tighten them, they're hard to come out and then you end up having to break them. That's why. But if you over tighten this one, it pulls the thread off the upper oil pan. Because this is just stronger. So which one would you want to sacrifice? The housing, which is like $60 original, or the upper oil pan? I'll take the filter housing. I'm just going to say one thing. People that maintain their vehicles properly and they have the plastic one, which came from the factory, never over tightened, never dropped, never mistreated, it will last the life of the car without a single issue. That's a guarantee. Because it's such a high quality filter, folks. It's not a cheap old plastic piece. It's a very high quality one. Then we come to this one. What happens with this one? When it comes to Toyotas, I always tell you, don't use aftermarket parts. And worse, don't use aftermarket parts that one size fits all. That's a disaster. Let me show you this. So this is what you get in this kit. I want you to see it. This is what you get in this kit. And of course, whatever... We've got your back. No, you don't. You see these standpipes? Here's the problem. That's the problem right here. See that? This it's the same filter housing that fits multiple applications. This is actually, this configuration is for like a 2G RFE. This one is for like an A3 filter. I actually know the filters by heart. This is for like a GX460. This is for an A4 filter, which is the one in the LX 570 Tundra Sequoia, basically the 3UR. Did you see how I pulled that out? Let me just take this. You basically just kind of shove this in here and hope for the best. Here we go. So what happens when you go to change, you know, you have a junior mechanic at the dealership that has no idea what they're doing, of course. They have the filter element here, and these filter elements can stick to the tube sometimes. You go pull it, throw this, oh, this just sits here, puts in, done. If you do that, you are guaranteed to have problems with your engine, because this filter now will move side to side, and then this tube is supposed to send the oil through the filter. Well, it's just going to bypass the whole thing. This filter is just rolling around in there until it gets to a point where it blocks the entrance or out, and it'll start twisting the whole filter. And when that happens, you could block complete oil flow. You're definitely not filtering anything at that point. So either way it goes, problems arise. My heart's broken, folks. This car is destroyed because of this. Was it worth it? No, it was not. Do you know what the problem with this is? If we have not over-tightened the original one, we wouldn't have to use this. And if we do over-tighten the original one, and we have to break it, taking it out, put an original one. Please don't put a metal one. And please don't go buy one from a 2G RFE, put it on a 3UR, because they are not the same. Folks, inside of here, there's a bypass valve, and that is kind of calibrated to the car, to the engine. You can't take one from this engine, put it on this engine. Kind of like you don't take a filter from this LS430 and try to fabricate it to fit this 75 series. You just don't do that with a spin-on filter. So why are we doing that here? That's the problem. Folks, that car was destroyed simply because a mechanic chose not to get bothered. And this is going to take us to the next conversation. Aftermarket shops. Do you know how aftermarket shops work? This chilled me to my bone when I found this out. Not all of them, of course. There are great shops out there that are very organized, on top of their game. They know to avoid things like this. But there's a lot of shops that work like this. They'll tear the car apart, and then once they got to a point where they need their parts, ring their local parts department. Hey, I need these parts and I need them right now. So when we have the original filter that we can order, it'll be here tomorrow or in 4 hours from now when the dealership is able to make a delivery run, or this thing that is just sitting on the shelf, which one do you think they're going to go with? You guessed it. They're going to go with the cheapest one and the fastest one that we can get here, just to get the car out of here so we can move on with our lives. Little do they think about the customer, the owner of this car. We are putting this junker in there and hoping that the next junior mechanic that knows that this is just a flimsy little thing, so when you pull the filter, you have to pull this thing and put it back here. Well, they don't. You know how many of these I see come in like that? Alarming. Every time I see a car that's supposed to have a plastic one with a metal one, I am usually alarmed. That's why we keep the original ones in stock. It is alarming how many of these we see. Folks, this will destroy your engine. You gotta be super careful with this. As much as, if you watch this video, you go underneath your car right now, you see one of these and they have a distinct logo on the side, get it out of there ASAP. Put an original one. You're not gonna be sorry. Torque it to spec. 18 foot-pounds is a spec for that. You will never have one seize or get stuck or anything. That's a guarantee. Because we do it at the shop. We never have a customer complain. And when the car comes back for a second oil change after that, it comes right up. Never had an issue. The only time you have an issue, and this is another heads up, is when you go 10, 15,000 miles. They tend to stick. That's the other problem. Do it every 5,000 miles, they come right out without a single problem. Folks, I wanted to make this video. First, we would like to wish the owner of that car the best, because I feel like he just, no. What happened to him is not right. And the reason it happened is even worse. Folks, nothing against the folks at Dorman, but you can't make one size fits all. Feedback to them, because I'm not about knocking nobody. We all trying to feed our families here. Don't make one size fits all. Make one specific one to the car and make this pipe part of the filter, non-removable, just like the original. I understand you're trying to make a solution for everything, but that solution is destroying engines, sir. That's not a good solution. I think as a company that does as much as you guys do, you can come up with better. And I believe in you that you will come up with better, because this is just not working, flat out. Maybe it works for other manufacturers. For Toyota, it is not working. And until something is done about this, please, folks, avoid these kits. They simply are a disaster waiting to happen. And I hope this disaster never happens to anybody. Please. That's heart to heart. Be careful with this. And lastly, I'm just going to touch base on this because many of you will comment on this. Why not put a used engine? I mean, they're out there. Let me redefine a used engine. See, most people call it a used engine. You know what I call it? A junkyard engine. An emphasis on the junk part. If this engine was so wonderful, why is it sitting in a salvage yard? What happened to the car that came out of? Usually crashed, flooded, rolled over, who knows? And you know what the worst part is? Usually 90% of the damage that happens to a used engine happens in the salvage yard, not from the car it came from. Like if a car was rear-ended, well, there's nothing wrong with the engine. But usually the way they extract engines out of the car and the way they handle them and store them is what destroys engines. And I opened my shop with one thing in mind. We're going to change the automotive industry and we're going to do quality work, the top quality work for Toyota and Lexus. And having a junk part that is a major component that costs a fortune go in a car is just not working for us. Sometimes I have to go through 4 engines to get in a good one. And I still have I hope everything is good, and I have them come back after 1,000 miles to check, come back before their warranty runs out, just because so I can have the peace of mind that folks are spending this money, they're looking at me in the eye, trusting me to help them make the best decision. I just don't feel comfortable with that anymore, because we've had so many issues with used parts, not parts, but with engines. I don't do them anymore. Same thing with transmissions. Heavy emphasis on the part junkyard. There are shops out there that do used engines. It works for them and God bless them. I just don't do that here anymore because I don't feel comfortable. Because I don't know if this used engine had one of these and had an event and now we're just replacing it with a normal one and going. That's the problem. Folks, I hope this video was helpful and informative. I hope you learned something new. If you liked it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some other videos. Until the next video, folks, may the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have yourself a wonderful day.